Hello, I'm going to read some poems today by my friends. So this one is No One's Having a Good Time by Dylan Stallard. Dylan recently performed this poem at Big Trouble in Rochester, and it's my favourite poem by him because it's so funny, but I think it's unfair to say that he's just a funny poet because everything he writes is just brilliant, even the serious poems. No one's having a good time at a poetry event. If you remove all the beer and wine, you're left with people who've spent too much time worrying about whether that rhyme rhymes with that one, which when worrying is concerned is a very small worry, sorry. But I can say that because I've got a friend who's a poet. No one's having a good time on the bus. No one's having a good time at the bookies. You've got to know when to hold 'em. But when the fun stops, stop. There's a fruity in the corner that's getting played non-stop. This is school uniform money that's been laundered through the gift shop. No one's having a good time at the family get-together. It's 18 degrees out, so you can't use the weather as an excuse. Usually just say you're ill. Got the chill from some undercooked veal. Grandma will probably get drunk and verge on xenophobia when mentioning her Romanian care assistant. No one's having a good time on the train. No one's having a good time if they're famous, but I reckon it'd be exciting to have a jumper chucked over my face after a gig. No pictures, please. No one's going to have a good time when they're taking pictures of me. No one's having a good time. No one's having a good time. Come on down to the gallery. Annabella's installed her toilet. The literati will be there, many smarties with blue opinions to share. I'll save you a chair. Yeah, of course it'll be fun. Yes, lovely, done. Someone said the other day, oh, it's a sign of the times people aren't having a good time. Not how it was in my prime. Back then, when people had fun, they had a good time. The man who runs my local shop gets up every day at 5 to open up, not before he's gone for a run, ate his breakfast, done his crossword, which he does for fun. I asked him if he was having a good day. He said yeah, but not a good time. No one's having a good time on a plane. I avoid elevators and stick to stairs because I'd rather climb than be pulled. No, you won't be fooled by a half-line, part-wine, 90-minute runtime of shite French mime, organised Japanese crime. No one's having a good time, especially at a poetry event. But like I said, I can say that because I have a friend who's a poet. I'm surprised I didn't manage to screw that up, because it's really difficult to do it how Dylan does it, but I think I did okay. So the next one is actually about a place in Medway, the Pentagon Centre in Chatham. So if you live in Medway, you've probably been there. This is one of my favourite poems by Zack Davies, and it's in his book The Shadow Cabinet, which you can buy online. Sat squat vacant lot 15 stories high, a several level who knows what where money went to die. A long con gone wrong, abandon hope who enter this concrete necronomicon, the pentagram centre. Blank dead square feet, the fruit of evil deed, where nobody may seek retreat, though many be in need. Take ye flight or take ye care, kneel, O ye repenter, O craftless, loveless, Lovecraft lair, the pentagram centre. Cerberi are kept in check near automatic doors by men with barbed ink round their neck who live beyond our laws. The guardsmen of the seeping bricks, his face a strained magenta, admits you. Past his river Styx, the pentagram centre. So it sits there, aged, depraved, the inverse of invention. It said the road to Medway's paved with puke and good intention. Who laid down its dour design? Who was the inventor? Who set in stone this Frankenstein, the pentagram centre? Critics bitch and critics chide, and call my words unfair, for truth and beauty lie inside, but half its flaws lie bare. Will it ever be redeemed, freed from its indenture, to be the land of which we dreamed, the pentagram centre? I'm just pulling these out at random, so I don't really know what's going to come next. Okay, so this is Stitched Up by Angela Dye. And I think the Kent poetry scene is having a bit of a Me Too moment at the minute, so this one's quite relevant. Thanks Angela for always listening to me moaning about how everything pisses me off. I am the sky folded about you, the backdrop to all your days. Without me you are nothing. All unpicked you unravel. We are all just things tumbling with no place to go, some of us hanging by a thread. At least when we were paper dolls we all held hands. See the blind farmer read us like braille. Watch the farmer with our not-stitched eyes, see him hold the wheat, secure the gold with twine. declaring loud that the young stems are ready for the fall reaping. I was the canvas of your life, the place where you slid your hand down backs of velvet upholstered sofas and find ribbon, gold, jewels for the sampling, for the taking. To pin you together, but never quite down. A wriggling pink salmon with a two-tone underbelly, we picked out the scale in silvery relief. See the little cross-stitched dolls bending and plucking, the purple poppies racing against time, set against the cold. We will make opium and forget these cotton days soon. Forget we were drawn with white tailor's chalk. Bring me my brown threads, my hazelnut, my café au lait, my risen loaf, her espresso hair. See those velvety grapes knotted on the vine, the plush plums embroidered with gold, the girl's red mouth sewn shut. They dared laughing at the arrogance of the sun. No strings attached, you told them, unpicked their hems, unfolding all their seams, cutting them to a template, forcing their feet into tiny scarlet shoes, rolled out the bloody fields like red flags, dresses pulled. See the vicar being cut down, the wedding sabotaged, the pearl-stitched men kneeling to take it on their tongue. See the little cross-stitched dollies. They have their hands over naked bud breasts, some hide behind the corn. We have been sown to the far edge of the field now, tacked in our places. As surely as night folds up the day, this scroll will be rolled away, and who will tell this story to those that give a damn? Oh, wow. So the next poem I'm going to read is a little bit more, I guess a little bit funnier, but it gets a bit serious towards the end. This is a poem about Keanu Reeves by my really good friend Tommy Carver-Chaplin, and he wrote one poem about Keanu Reeves and it became like everyone's favourite poem of his, and then he wrote two more, so I'm going to go for the hat trick and try and read all three of them in a go. Hopefully I won't mess it up. I want Keanu solving world peace. I want Keanu as my postman. I want Keanu as the mother in How I Met Your Mother. I want Keanu to have shot Phil. I want Keanu to film Matrix 2 and 3 because they don't seem to have been made yet. I want Keanu on a Death Grips album with Hugh Laurie on the feature. I want Keanu to play God in Keanu Almighty, and I now realise that means he will also have to play the main character, but I'm sure he can manage it. I want Keanu to make me a cup of tea, no doubt the greatest cup of tea of all time. I want Keanu to admit that he is the meaning of life. I want a Keanu Reeves Sims expansion pack where every sim is Keanu. I want Keanu to bring back Viva Pinata. I want a Keanu play called The Curious Case of the Keanu in the Nighttime. I want Keanu to be PM, or at least handle Brexit. I want Keanu to play Ariel in The Little Mermaid. I want Keanu to ensure that Beth is successful in their job interview today. I got the job. I want Keanu to have been Kaiser Soze. I want Keanu not to have been how the Joker got those scars. I want Keanu to have been the island in Lost. I want Keanu to have been the secret whisper in Lost in Translation. I want Keanu to turn out to be Doctor Who's real name. I want Keanu to be my dad, my mum, my lover and my confidant. I want Keanu in the daytime and I want Keanu in the nighttime. I want Keanu to keep the 24/7 Asda open past 10 PM on a Saturday because they're taking the fucking piss. I want Keanu to never be sad and alone on a bench ever again. I want Keanu, and I especially want Keanu to get cracking with Bill and Ted 3. Okay, so this is Keanu 2. I propose that Keanu Reeves plays Keanu Reeves in a film about Keanu Reeves. I want Keanu to be every single dinner lady that gave me extra chicken nugs. I want Keanu to have been those extra nugs. I want Keanu inside of me, a calorific Keanu, a charming, caressing, comforting Keanu, liquidized inside of me. I want Keanu to have shot Mr. Burns. I want Keanu to have shot me, take of that what you will. I want to meet Keanu on a bus and casually suggest to him that he should vote Corbyn. I want Keanu to admit that the only reason he's playing God in the new SpongeBob film is because he heard my line about Keanu Almighty in my previous Keanu poem. I want Keanu as a woman. Fuck it, it doesn't really matter to me, but I do want Keanu to stay with his woman. I want him to love and honour her in a way I can only imagine he could love and honour me. I want myself to realise he already loves and honours me with every decision he makes. I want to start a new religion, the cult of Keanu. We will coat ourselves in the dust of raditude, bathe in the blood of men less worthy, and worship at the bench on which he once sat. I want Keanu to lift my soul into the eternal realm. Take me, Keanu! I want Keanu to be the next Bond, to be the next Doctor Doom, to be the next Phil Mitchell, to bring back Grant Mitchell, to be the next Ben Mitchell. God knows, there hasn't been enough actors for him. I want Keanu to buy the old Vic. I'll run these EastEnders lines into the ground. I want Keanu to bring back carry-on films in a way that wouldn't get everyone involved arrested in 2019. I want Keanu to go back in time and replace all the fake Santas in my childhood photos, even the ones that my dad is in. I want Keanu to take my dad to dinner. I want Keanu to take a DNA test and turn out to be mine and mine alone. I want Keanu to start doing slam poetry so we might lock eyes over that really good Cult of Keanu line I did earlier as I dropped to my knees and froth at the mouth. I want Keanu here, now, forever, just so I might never have to embarrass myself writing another Keanu poem ever again. Okay, Keanu 3. I think I need a swig of tea before I try this. I want Keanu to explain to me what the fuck an NFT is. I want Keanu to explain what the words non-fungible even mean. I want Keanu to just have a word with Kanye West, just a word at least, and maybe do a John Wick with Pete Davidson, but in real life for being a fucking serpent. I want Keanu to teach me how to filter in Windows Excel and how to create a pivot table, and to bring back word art and the Clippy, the paperclip word assistant. I want Keanu to start Twitter shit with J.K. Rowling. I want Keanu to go train spotting with Francis. I want Keanu to return Ackley Bridge to 40-minute episode formats because my favourite lockdown show got absolutely butchered by executives that think Generation Z are incapable of watching serialised content in longer bursts than the length of a TikTok. Because in my head, Keanu has never let a Tamagotchi die. Not his and not mine. And he's still feeding all the Neopets I abandoned as I got into cool new hobbies like porn. Keanu doesn't say anything when you stand up in a Zoom meeting and it turns out your lower half is just one beautiful pair of bamboo undies to keep those ball pathways airy. Keanu offers you a lift home from the middle of nowhere all the fucking time. That one is actually just Jake, our friend, who gives us lifts everywhere all the time. Keanu checks up on his mates who aren't texting back. He DMs you asking what's wrong when you put up an attention-seeking status about how much the world fucking blows, even though it's kind of cringe and he only judges a little. Keanu turns up at your house with a 4-pack after you've locked everyone off from your life, and that doesn't even get offended when you tell him that you've quit drinking again. Because Keanu is a good boy, but that's that other poem. But really, Keanu truly is a good boy. Because Keanu, he offers you a seat on the train. Keanu gives you, the background, the forgotten staff, millions from the money he makes from The Matrix 2 and 3. He takes pay cuts so his colleagues can work. He genuinely asks how you're doing. Both you, the production assistant, and the homeless that he's regularly seen sat with. He drives you home when your car breaks down. He calls himself a meathead and a dumb person with a smile that radiates an emotional intelligence only good beans know, even if he doesn't know it himself. Keanu is a man who didn't finish school, whose father left before he could learn his name, and a man that lost both his child and his partner in 2 different tragedies. He became the primary caregiver of his sister in her 10-year battle with leukemia, putting his film career on hold and selling his house to be with her. Keanu Reeves starts a charity and then doesn't even put his fucking name anywhere near it. When I was a teen, I wanted to be a good person. I think sometimes I failed along the way here. When I talk about the man I want Keanu to be, I think I do a disservice to the man Keanu truly is. But I mythologise the man who sits on a bench looking sad because it's important to be held to the mark. I want to be Keanu. I want to be a good friend and an even better stranger. I want to be the reason that at least someone smiles every day of my life, and I'm so sorry for all the people I've failed to do that for. I want to be better every day. And most of all, I want Keanu to officiate the wedding between MGK and Megan and share tongue juices with them the entire time because they deserve the best, and I truly hated this theme. Oh my god. Only a couple of tiny mistakes made there. So this next poem is actually one of my own, and I wrote it in autumn 2019, so pre-pandemic, and it's just a list of things that I worry about, and I'd like to read this one for my friend Keith because he recently told me that I worry too much, like I hadn't realised that before, but I read this again the other day and realised that I don't actually worry about most of the things in this poem, so thanks, Keith. Now when I worry about things, I think about that and try to talk myself out of worrying about them. I worry about the people from my morning commute who I haven't seen for a while, and what if I'm the only person who notices they're missing? That every person with whom I've ever had an awkward interaction on public transport was just sent there by a therapist to see how I'm doing. I worry I'll never feel comfortable looking people in the eye, that my parents don't love me as much as they say they do, that everything I write is shit, that I'll never get over it, that this list won't end. I worry about all the people I love dying before they know how much I love them, and the people I don't love knowing I don't love them. Inevitable phone calls, funeral poems. I worry I'll die as I've lived, worrying about inconveniencing everyone around me. The hot feeling rising when I see that picture of you on the dust jacket of a book in 50 years. You can't make this stuff up, except I am every day because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm worried I'll snap, and the only way I'll get better is by founding a support group for other people who are from other planets and somehow lost on this one. I worry all the people I've been will kidnap me and ask me why I brought it on myself. And I worry I suck all the joy out of any room I walk into, like an emotional vampire, because I'm not as nice as you think I am. I worry my brother will finally kill himself, that my teeth will all fall out, that my dog doesn't really love me, she's just in it for the biscuits, that some small part of me will be alive for the unavoidable heat death of the universe, that I'll have to listen to my favourite songs for the first time and they won't be my favourites, that my brother will finally kill himself. My brain is rusting going over it, the way constantly leaking pipes stain brickwork. Time doesn't make it any easier. You all lied. So that's the cheerful one. But yeah, I don't worry as much as I used to about all of those things. I've got one more which is not actually by a friend. It's a poem about death and grief by Merritt Malloy. It's called Epitaph, and I think it's now being included in some Jewish books of prayer about dying. I'm not Jewish, but I hope it's okay for me to read this poem anyway, because I really love it. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Thank you, and sorry if you can hear my tumble dryer beeping in the background. It stopped running halfway through this video. Thank you.